it's Deb here with Creative Life. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for being here with me. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day today. And y'all, today is our last project for the month of March using the Trace Jolie March scrapbooking kit. So today we're going to be making a simple folio, nothing, with a lot of flaps and stuff, but we're going to be making it using this beautiful paper by Prima. It is Serene Petals. And you guys, if you haven't seen this paper, it's so gorgeous. So we're also going to be using some of these super beautiful little cards that they put in the kit, along with these beautiful flowers. Oh, so spring-like. I love them. And then we're going to be using some of these windows. Of course, we're going to be using the banner and this beautiful, beautiful little doily. I think this is so pretty. So we're going to be using some of the stickers as well to decorate our pages.
So let's go ahead and get started on our folio.
Okay, so to get started on our little folio, this is going to be like just a few pages, like a 2-page folio, but you could definitely add more if you would like. For this one, we're going to go ahead and do 2 pieces that are 8.5 by 9. You're going to score 1 inch on the left-hand side. Now this piece that is 1 inch is actually going to be your spine. So we're going to go ahead and fold these in just like this. Okay, so those are going to get folded in, and these 1 inch pieces are going to get adhered together like this, okay? And that is what's going to form your book, all right? So next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut out 2 pieces that are going to be 7 3/8 by 9, okay? And you're going to score a 1/2 inch on the left-hand side. And these pieces, again, are going to go ahead and get folded over just like this. Alrighty. So just like this, super easy peasy, and then we're going to back them up like this onto this 1 inch spine, okay? And so we're going to do that. And then we're going to go ahead and cover everything. So we may go ahead and add some little pockets and things like that, because I do want to go ahead and use some of these little cards, and I think that these are super, super cute. So we're going to be using that, and we're going to be making a little pocket, okay, because we are going to be cutting down our 12 by 12 sheets. Okay, there is going to be some leftovers, so we'll go ahead and add as we go. So let's go ahead and glue all of these down, and then we'll get started on covering everything.
Okay, so to get started, you're going to go ahead and grab your 2 pieces that you cut at 8.5 by 9 and score a 1 inch down the left side of each of these pieces, and then you're going to go ahead and adhere both of them together at the 1 inch and burnish that down. That is going to be your spine, and that's where we're going to add our pages, which measure 7 3/8 by 9, and you're going to go ahead and press those up against the score line. So make sure that you burnish down the pages when you place them inside. The second piece is going to be butt up right against that first piece. Again, you don't want to place this on top of the score line because you want your book to close really well. So as I'm doing here, you can see that I'm just making sure that that little 1/2 inch flap that you scored on your pages is butt up against the first page, okay? And then you can go back through if you have any pieces that are not adhered down, I sometimes I miss my corners. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I do. And so I just go back in and lift those up and go ahead and adhere them down really well. Next, we're going to go ahead and cut out our papers to go ahead and cover the pages and the outside and inside of our book. Okay, so for the front of the book, what I did is I cut out this one piece. Now, this is a window piece, and what I'm doing is I'm scoring along the little frame there. So that way these little doors can move back. Okay, I didn't cut it all the way through. And as you can see, I left a little bit, I want to say probably about an inch or two or so. I just went across where the window is right, you know, where the window frame is. And so that's where I'm scoring. So that way these open up. And then you'll see what we do with this. So it turned out super cute. I hope you guys will like it. And of course, you could do this any way you want to do it. You can make your own, you know, this is your own book, so you can make this however you would like, if you just want the doors to open or however you want. And so I went ahead and I did cover my book with pink paper on top of the white, so you can see some of the white edging, okay? And I really like how this turned out. So next what I did is I cut a little piece out from one of the pattern papers, and I went ahead and stuck that on the back so that way it would have a nice scenery. And then we're going to stick a little card inside of here, you know, and you could pick whichever one you would like. I went ahead and picked the one that says live for the moments you can't put into words, and that's the one that's inside of that window there. Now you can leave it like this and decorate it however you want, or you can go ahead and do what I did, and I just placed flowers all along the edging of it, and just, you know, I love flowers, so that's how I decorated it. And so you're going to go ahead and just lay that down just like that. Now originally I was going to cut this out. That flower is actually part of that window before you cut it out. But I went ahead and just, I decided to use the flowers that came in the kit. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do here. And we're going to go ahead and glue this down. And after I glue this down, then I go ahead and I decorate the back. And I used that same paper that I used underneath the window for the scenery. I went ahead and used that same pattern paper for the back. I just love this paper. It is so, so pretty. I absolutely love it. And then we're going to go ahead and do the spine. So for the spine piece, I went ahead and used one of the pillars that is actually part of the window page that we cut up, and the window is on the front of the book. And so I went ahead and used this because I love the way the flowers are trellising up the little pillar, and I thought it looked perfect on here. So the next thing we're going to do is, this is part of the front of the page. Now I've turned this over, and this does have the cut aparts on it. So if you don't want to use this piece, that's okay. You can swap it for something else. But I went ahead and I placed some double back tape all around the back edges of this piece, okay? Because we're going to make this into pockets. And I've done this before. This is one of my favorite things to do with these pieces. I love it. And so I go ahead and I place this down on my mat. Now on here, I'm actually cutting from the bottom part. So you're going to cut the second line from the bottom, okay? And that's going to be your first cut. Now, and then I'm going to cut the black. I'm trying to get the black to like kind of cut away from that, and I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to cut through that line, okay, because my X-Acto knife didn't go all the way through for some reason. It's a brand new blade. I don't know what's wrong with it. So I went ahead and just used my scissors to kind of help cut the lines as well as my X-Acto knife. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Again, you're going to leave about 1/4 of an inch from the edges, okay? So you're not cutting all the way through. You're just cutting to that double back tape that you placed on the back, okay? And again, here I come in with the scissors, and I'm just going to cut that away. Then you're going to go ahead and see that top part where the ribbon is. You're going to cut that first line there, okay? And that's the next piece you're going to cut. And again, you're just going to cut that line straight all the way down, leave about 1/4 of an inch to where your double back tape is, and that's what you're going to do. So you're going to go ahead, and so now you'll have two pockets on this one piece. So, and I love doing this type of thing with these because one, it's you get to utilize everything within your paper pad. And I just think that this is such a smart way to use this as a pocket. And because the lines are already there for you, you don't really have to create anything. You just have to cut it and put the double back tape on the back, and that's it. And you've got, you know, 2 or 3 pockets, however you want to split it up, however you want, that's what you have. And so I grabbed my other X-Acto knife and just cut down all the way down to that 1/4 inch, or where my double back tape is. Next, I'm just going to go ahead, come in with my scissors and clean that up a little bit. And then you're going to need a circle punch, and because we're going to go ahead and punch a couple of circles in this little pocket area. And that's going to be it. And you can go ahead and place that down. For this next piece, it's going to be a little flap. It's going to be 7 1/4 by 7, and you're going to score at a 1/2 inch and at 5/8 inch. Then you're going to make a little pocket, and I used the paper that had the little bow with the stream of lights. And then the bottom part of this, I cut the little stairs, the little bridge out, and made it into a little pocket. You're going to go ahead and place that on top of this little piece here. And yeah, so we're going to do that. I think it turned out super, super cute. I absolutely love how this turned out. And it is super cute. So you're going to go ahead and glue that 1/2 inch little flap to the front of page number 2. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to make like a little pocket on page 1 on the back. So I took one of the cut aparts that, or not cut aparts, but the scrap pieces that had the little pink brick on the back, and that is going to be our backing for this page here. And then we're going to use another scrap piece to create a little pocket. Now here is a little piece, and I don't know, I think it's about maybe a 3.5 inch piece, maybe a 3-inch piece, and you're just going to go ahead and line that up, and you're only going to put glue around the edges, so around the top, side, and the bottom, because you don't want to go ahead and glue this all the way down unless you want to, because you want to go ahead and be able to slide in some photo mats. Okay, so here in a minute, I'm going to share with you what I did to make an inside pocket on this 4.5 by 6 1/8 piece little flap. And that right there is what I used. I went ahead and put the double back tape on the back and cut a slit just like we did with our other pockets. And I went ahead and adhered that down to create a little side pocket on the back of that little flap there. Now that little flap is, like I said, 4.5 by 6 1/8, and you're going to go ahead and score a 1/2 inch on the left hand side and attach it to the front of page 1. Next, we're moving right along to the front, and we're going to go ahead and set that little card down there. And then I started decorating the front with some flowers, and these flowers are so pretty. They're just so pretty, you guys. I love them. So so at first I got kind of flower crazy, you guys. I have to admit, I wasn't gonna do it all out. I was just gonna put like a few, but I got kind of crazy and started trellising up and out and all over the place. And so, but I guess it's part of, your creativity, right? So whatever you feel like doing, and sometimes, I go kind of overboard with the flowers, but I just couldn't help myself. These flowers were so pretty, and I love the color combo of them with the green and the pink, the light pink. Just they were so pretty. And then the leaves. So here I went ahead and I was just playing with different flowers and kind of scattering them all over. Okay, so next I used this glitter, and this glitter comes in one of the kits. I'll have to find it, and if it's still available, I'll put the link down below. It is a diamond shimmer dust, and it is by Create Decor, and it is ultra fine. And so what I did is I went ahead and decided to go ahead and use this on my flowers. So I placed my glue kind of sporadically all over my flowers to, kind of give them a little bit of shine. So after I got all the glue all where I wanted it, I went ahead and I went ahead and sprinkled this on top of all my flowers. Now here I'm just making sure that I have glue everywhere because I didn't want to miss any flowers, but I did miss a couple. So I even added glue, or the glue, yeah, to the clock and to a little bit of the butterflies so they would give a nice sparkle to them as well. So here I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that all on, and I'm going to shake that off. And then you're going to wait for it to dry.
Okay, you guys, so we are done with this little folio book, and this turned out super cute. I really like it. It's super simple to do, and you could do this probably in a day. And, it depends on, how much time you want to craft, but this is super simple, and I just love how this turned out. I love how I put the little sentiment right in the middle of that window that is part of the paper collection, and then I added the little clock or window. Actually, it's a window, but I made it into like a little clock, and I love how that looks. Added some butterflies around, and then added these beautiful flowers along with some of the diamond shimmer dust. Now, this diamond shimmer dust is probably in one of your other kits. If you have received one of the other kits, it's probably either in a mixed media kit, or it might be in a scrapbook kit. And I'll try to find where this is at, and I'll go ahead and put the link down below if the kit is still available. Okay. And then here on the side, I went ahead and added this little sticker, and it just says favorite moments, and put the spine on, and then the back is this beautiful trailing rose bush, and I just think that is so, so pretty. So this is still drying from the glue along with the diamond shimmer dust that we just did. So here on the inside, I did pockets out of the front page of the paper collection. Okay, so here I put in some little cards, okay, that are from the scrapbook collection. And then here I added some up on top. So you get two pockets here and here. So, and it's all one piece. Okay, and I share with you how to do that in the video. And then here on this side, you just have a simple little place for some photos. Here, I took the remaining piece of this that we cut out, and I turned it into a side pocket. And so you just put some little cards, and you can definitely journal or put pictures on the back of these little cards. It folds shut, and then here you have a nice little place for some photos or journaling. You turn this over and you have another side little pocket here, and I just put a little card in there. It says stay focused and extra sparkly, and so I just love that. And then here it says home sweet home. This is one of the cards that I just adhered on here, and then left this little window. This is just a chipboard piece, and I just glued it on top of there so you could see the nice little designs behind the window, and I just thought that was really pretty. Here we created a little flap pocket, and here is some more little cards that are placed inside of the pocket, and then I used that beautiful lace and on top of that pocket. Here we did a little belly band. It says one day at a time, and then here I just added a few little scrap pieces. You could add a photo or you can journal on the back of these, and I just thought that these were so pretty, and so I didn't want to leave them out. And then here I had one long piece, and you could definitely add some photos on the inside of this, and I just folded it right in half, and yeah. So you could definitely add some photos on there or journal or, whatever. And I just slid that on there just like that. And then here is another little pocket. Now here I fussy cut out this large flower. Now this flower piece actually belongs to this window piece. Okay, and I fussy cut it out and made it into like a little tuck spot right below this little gate door, and I just thought that was so pretty. And so here you can add a photo here, or you can add photos behind here, or journal, and then you go ahead and flip it over and then here you have a little tuck spot. So here you have a little tuck spot, and I'm just going to grab a little card, and you can go ahead and tuck something up under there, or you could put photos under here. And I just thought that this was super cute. I thought this was a great way to use the doily as part of a background for photos. It's so pretty, you guys. So you flip this page over, and on the back you have a nice little doily, that big doily that comes in the scrapbook kit, and we use that as one of the backgrounds for our page. And then I stuck a little sticker down here. It has a little bird on it. So cute. Just love that. And you can add another sticker if you want. There's tons of stickers in this kit that you can use to decorate your pages. And then here is a little tuck spot using the card. Now, the doily pieces that I cut from here are actually glued on top of the little doors that I created with, this page. And I thought that they turned out so cute. I just glued them right on that side, just like that. And then here on the back, you have this beautiful area here. I added our story sticker and then a little heart. I didn't add a whole lot to this because you could journal on this one, maybe tell your story about what's going on in your little page or whatever. And I just thought that this was super cute. So I didn't want to take away from that. Now, I didn't add a closure to this because really, it's so tiny, you guys, you don't need one. And just even adding your photos isn't going to add a lot of bulkiness to this. So that's why I just kind of left it without a closure. Now, if you want a closure, you could definitely add one to here, but you really don't need one. So anyway, I hope you guys like the book today that I did. Super cute. I love it. And thank you guys so much for joining me. Take care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks so much for joining me today. Head on over to Trace Jolie to check out their shop, and please like, subscribe, and comment. And join me for Friday nights, 4:30 p.m. Central Time.